You may have heard some Star Wars fans talk about the JJ cut of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, so we are here to break down what the heck they're talking about.
The JJ cut is a rumored 3-hour version of The Rise of Skywalker that includes all sorts of material that director JJ Abrams originally had in the film, but was allegedly cut unfairly by Disney.
Much like with the possibly mythical Snyder cut of Justice League, a cabal of fans seems convinced that the evil studio holding the purse strings made savage cuts to an auteur's work, and are holding the pure, untampered version of the movie in a vault somewhere.
But it's not like JJ left the project halfway through, leaving it for someone else to finish the way Joss Whedon finished Zack Snyder's Justice League, so where did these people get the idea that there even is a JJ cut in the first place?
Well, after the movie was released, various people who worked on the film have been doing interviews, and they occasionally drop a tidbit about something that didn't make it into the film.
Here's an example. Actor Dominic Monaghan, who played a resistance fighter, spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about footage that didn't make the theatrical cut, saying, quote, "Like a lot of Star Wars fans, I'm hoping there will be a director's cut so we'll get to see more and more of the stuff that was filmed. I wasn't there all the time, but even in the short time I was there was so much stuff filmed that didn't make it to the theatrical version."
Also, Chris Terrio, who co-wrote the film, answered complaints that Kelly Marie Tran's Rose Tico had been sidelined, explaining that some of her scenes with Carrie Fisher, who was included via footage shot for The Force Awakens, were cut due to technical reasons. Rose is in less than 90 seconds of the movie, so these scenes presumably would have given Rose a more appropriate amount of screen time.
The list goes on, but you get the idea. Now, what's happened is all of these things have been compiled into a big list, and some people have taken it to mean that there was once a version of the movie that had all these things.
And that's technically true, but also not really at all accurate. Every movie starts out longer than what eventually gets shown in theaters. That's called an assembly cut. But that's not even a first draft. It's a rough draft, and the whole point of an assembly cut is for it to be honed down into the final theatrical version.
Meaning that yes, there was a longer version of Rise of Skywalker at one point, but that was never intended to be seen by the general public. JJ doesn't want you to see it, Disney doesn't want you to see it, it's not anyone's final vision for the movie.
But that hasn't stopped the internet from interneting. To that point, a lot of the material supposedly in the JJ cut was listed by, you guessed it, an anonymous source on Reddit. They claim some pretty wild things.
Things like Finn using the Force, confirmation that Janna is Lando's daughter, and the idea that Leia made Han appear to Kylo.
Also, how actors Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor, and Samuel L. Jackson actually filmed their parts for Rey's call to the Jedi, and they appeared in full costume as Force ghosts to help form a barrier against the Sith.
But a more reliable source of information, the visual effects supervisor for the movie, Roger Guyette, suggested to Yahoo that an Anakin Force ghost was never going to happen, which seems to debunk that rumor.
The Reddit post also says JJ Abrams fought to make the Finn and Poe gay romance happen, but he was turned down by Disney. But that begs the question, if JJ didn't even get to shoot that material, how could it be in the JJ cut?
It can't. That's not to say that some of that stuff may not exist in one form or another. Who knows what will wind up as a deleted scene on the Blu-ray.
But if you're still skeptical about whether this Reddit post is authentic, just look at how it explains why Disney decided to mess up JJ's vision for the movie.
They say that Disney knows JJ signed a deal with their competitor, Warner Brothers, which is true, and that he may be taking on a new Superman movie, which has been rumored. But the crazy part is, they say that Disney's goal was to apparently ruin JJ's reputation so the Superman movie will bomb. And to do that, they're making their own movie look bad?
Yeah, why not trash your own movie that is part of one of the most beloved and profitable franchises of all time, all in the hopes that it might one day cause a rival studio to deliver a flop? Oh, I know why. It's because that doesn't make any sense.
No, sure doesn't. For all this petitioning for a JJ cut, the movie is actually doing pretty well as is. Yeah, it has a rotten 54% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, but it has an 86% approval rating from audiences. Not to mention, it has earned almost $1 billion at the worldwide box office.
Well, what do you think of this whole JJ cut thing? Let us know in the comments.
And for more from IGN Now, check out some gorgeous new concept art for the Avatar sequels and who Christian Bale might be playing in the MCU.
And of course, follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.
You know, there's a Clint cut of this IGN Now that's actually much better.
Really? I'm honored. Release the Clint cut.